Hey, boys and girls, we're live. My legal team, after what happened on Amy's channel last night, is begging me not to do any more live streams. But against their legal advice, we're here with rational empiricist and Scott Duke.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, well, we didn't get into that one. So anyway, we don't want to. Yeah, so there's a pic of a guy who invented phylogenetics, sort of. Yeah. Anyway, so go ahead, Andrew. I'm gonna let you run this thing because I don't know anything.
I guess I'll just share my screen. Let's see. I guess I'll go with my PowerPoint first. PowerPoints always help. All right. Can you see my screen?
I can, except it looks pretty blank.
Let's see if this. All right.
Is it still gray to use speed, or
is it what?
I just have a gray blank.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gray.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought my eyeballs were going out of.
How long did it take you to do this screen, Andrew?
Well, this is Google Slides, so I just pick either a gray or white theme, basically.
Okay. So I mean that looks incredible.
All right. So today I want to talk about phylogenetic signal and consistency indices. Try to say that 10 times fast.
Nope.
And this relates to the question, how are we so certain that common ancestry is true versus separate ancestry?
I'm sorry. I screwed something up.
Oh, what happened?
I ran some audio over that.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
So first we're going to talk about phylogenetic signal. So what exactly is phylogenetic signal? What does it mean, basically? So phylogenetic signal is basically a statistical measure of species trait values or character states based on their phylogenetic relationships, their position on the phylogenetic tree. So basically, phylogenetics, for those of you who don't know, is based on traits, either morphological or molecular traits like DNA and RNA, for instance, and you're coding those into a matrix, basically. But that's a discussion for another time. So what phylogenetic signal means, basically, is that the more congruent the different characters are between the species being studied, so basically you have lots of different characters, put them into your analysis, and the more congruent that they are, meaning the more they all point, or most of them point toward the same overall tree topology, the tree shape, basically. So the more congruent they are, the higher the phylogenetic signal.
So is this a comparison between two different phylogenetic trees?
So good question. This is actually it's statistical dependence of the traits for one tree, I believe. Okay. So it's basically measuring the holistic structure of the tree. So you can do it with the individual characters, or you can do it with individual trees. But so I guess you could do it with more than one tree, but you have to do it one at a time, I think, if that makes sense.
Hey,
so it's an individual value assigned to each. Yes, Scott?
As a request, at some point, as we go through this, if you do a comprehensive enough presentation, where does this differ from the? Oh, they're similar because of the same designer, so therefore it's like the cars at a factory.
Oh, I'm going to get to that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I meshed that in here, so don't worry.
Very good.
All right, so here we go. So common ancestry very obviously would predict a set of one or a few phylogenetic trees. So if there's a whole, all of these species are really related genetically, there should be a very clear not bias, but a trend in the data, basically. So all of these characters, or at least lots and lots of them, should all support the same or a similar topology, basically. So in other words, in general, common ancestry should predict a highly statistically significant phylogenetic signal for most, if not all, life. So what does separate ancestry predict then in relation to common ancestry? Well, if common ancestry predicts a high phylogenetic signal for life, logically separate ancestry or independent origins should predict a low phylogenetic signal for living things. So for instance, cars, created objects, etc., they all show low phylogenetic signal, meaning their traits are not correlated in this cladistic way. Basically, they're somewhat indistinguishable from random noise, basically. So they're not correlated in this hierarchical structure.
Yep.
So their traits, basically, like it says here, very irrespective of their phylogenetic history. Now I put phylogenetic in brackets, of course, because obviously cars don't reproduce or have a phylogeny per se, but you can call it phylogenetic history, evolutionary history, what have you. So if common design were true and living things are analogous or the same as cars, and they're basically superficial nested hierarchy in cars, for instance, versus the objective nested hierarchy that we would predict for common ancestry. If common design were true, we should expect to see a statistically significant phylogenetic signal that is too low for common ancestry to be true. Basically, it should be lower. It should be as low, if not lower, than that expected from random data. Basically, so there should be no cladistic structure involved. Now let's talk about consistency index. So what is consistency index, or CI? So CI measures the minimum amount of homoplasy, basically traits that are a result of convergent evolution. So they're only similar superficially. They're not similar because of common ancestry.
Okay.
So the minimum amount of homoplasy for a given tree topology and the characters involved. So CI, consistency index, is measured by dividing the minimum possible number of character state changes by the actual observed number of character state changes, basically. So the way you figure out if this lineage is related to that lineage, of course, is basically you have to measure the character state changes in between. That's how you tell that lineage has changed. So consistency index is therefore measured by the minimum possible number of character state changes by the actual number of character state changes. So if there is complete 100% congruence between characters, meaning there's no homoplasy, there's no convergent evolution, which of course is an unrealistic result, then the CI value should be exactly 1, because the minimum possible number of changes should equal the observed number of changes. The more homoplasy involved, the lower the CI value, so less than 1, basically. So we can ask the same question between common ancestry and separate ancestry that we asked for phylogenetic signal. but this time for consistency index values. So we would expect under common ancestry that there should be a highly statistically significant CI value, consistency index value, for most, if not all, of today's species, based on different studies measuring the CI values of the species involved. In contrast, common design predicts that there should be no congruence, as described before. So they should vary independently of each other. And that means that the CI value should be statistically lower than what would be expected from random data. So there's no cladistic relationship involved, and there's a bunch of homoplasy involved, just because they don't actually share a common ancestry. They only resemble each other deep down superficially. So now we can come to the question, and we can answer it. Do living things and their corresponding phylogenies show low phylogenetic signals in CI values? So this is a clear, testable prediction between common ancestry and separate ancestry, basically. So if common ancestry is true, there should be high phylogenetic signal and consistency index values. If common design is true, then they will be significantly lower than what would be expected for common ancestry. So what's the answer? What have we found from all these studies and a bunch of different analyses, basically? No common design. So all of these studies, we've done phylogenetic statistics on this. There have also been other ways that have been developed to quantify the statistical significance of the objectiveness of these phylogenies. Some of them are called bootstrapping and Bremer decay analyses, which I don't really understand enough to go into that right now.
What was the second word you used? Bootstrapping and
Bremer decay, basically.
Bremer
That's
decay.
the other one I've heard of. Yeah.
Okay.
So using phylogenetic signal and consistency indices, though, we already have a clear and concise way to look at the congruence of living things and their traits. And we see that most phylogenies for large-scale groups are extremely congruent and parsimonious. And they have a very high phylogenetic signal and a CI value that's larger than what would be expected from random data. So this means that separate ancestry is effectively, well, it doesn't fit the data. So granted, these methods are not foolproof. They're not perfect. And they don't give 100% statistical value. So there's some errors involved, but that's true for any data analysis. But at the end of the day, the phylogenetic signal and consistency indices are too high. Their values are too high to be explained by random error or separate ancestry. And that's that. And I am done.
Okay. So do we have any papers that we can link? Like phylogenetic signal, evolutionary process, and rate? Is that the one that you were talking about by Revel?
Oh, did you find something?
Well, I thought there's more than one paper with phylogenetic
signal. There are lots of different papers for different groups, I think.
Phylogenetic signal and primate behavior, strong phylogenetic signals and phylogenetic niche, phylogenetic signal, evolutionary process, and rate. But I'm wondering, what was your source material for the slideshow?
So basically, huh?
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I would like to.
Oh yeah. So most of the information I actually got from Talk Origins and some papers I've looked at that describe phylogenetic signal. And as far as I can tell, most of them give a high phylogenetic signal. I don't know if there have been trees that have been done for like all life, of course, because that's ridiculously hard to do. But I do believe there have been analyses done for different groups that they all point towards these groups sharing common ancestry, and obviously groups that are, like you said, primates, for instance, which creationists would consider unrelated.
Yep. Yeah, I wonder. Somebody should do this for automobiles. It would be somebody who loved automobiles.
Oh yeah.
You know, for basically traits, right?
Well, okay.
I'm pretty sure you would come up with a very flat-looking tree, right, with no obvious signals between them, because it's sort of random as to what a car manufacturer engineer puts into a particular vehicle. You know, as far as
right. Now SFT is going to claim, for instance, that these similarities are due to similar function, for instance, but of course that's like not what we see, and
right.
This isn't necessarily measuring the functionality of these different traits. It's measuring, like you said, how randomly correlated they are, basically. So it's irrespective of function. It's measuring how their structure, basically, and if that shows any phylogenetic relationship kind of picture.
Yeah. Do you happen to have it? Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so I doubt this is going to make sense to him, but that's all.
Okay, I'm still looking for links still, like source material, if you happen to have. Okay, so Talk Origins redirects you to Panda's Thumb, right? To the Wayback Machine.
Oh, here, I've looked into this site a lot, so I can link it. It's called 29 Evidences for Macroevolution, and this is the first part of it. So I'll link that in the private chat, and you can put it in the description.
Oh, so that's...
Yeah, some of it is kind of too technical for me at this point, but from what I've gathered, this is pretty settled. And Talk Origins was the main thing, because they do link their papers, so that does.
Okay, so put that in the description, and this is something that right now I do not understand very well, so it's kind of hard for me to do any more with it.
That's understandable.
Yeah, the other thing is I'd like to see some examples. Yeah, the phylogenetic signal thing, I think, came up within the last few weeks, basically. I had not heard of it before. Had you? Was this?
Well, actually, what got me started into this was that website I just linked, and I was kind of doing some research on this, asking professors about this, and it's pretty interesting. I didn't know as much about it.
I want to take a look at one of my bioinformatics books. Phylogenetics. Okay, not in a bioinformatics book. Well, wait a minute. Oh, no. Premature. Nope.
No. Granted. Oh, did you find it?
No. Phylogenetic tree of life, trees, phylograms, Charles Darwin nomenclature. Okay, universal phylogenetics defined. Sequence substitution rates. Nope. Phylogeny. Nope. That one is concepts in bioinformatics and genomics. And
oh yeah, that was the other thing, which is basically most of it's based on maximum parsimony, which is a little less reliable when it comes to molecular data. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So if you're going to talk about molecular analyses, for instance, parsimony doesn't work as well.
Yeah. Let me see here. Population trees, population branch statistics. I'm searching.
Yeah. Hope we can get someone in here. It seems like we're
Oh, we should put the link out there. So
okay.
But who knows what it's going to turn into? But because of what happened last night, it might turn into something else. So
Yeah. Well, I put my say out there, so that's
yeah,
good.
well, good. That's good. And we need to look further into this, and we need to come up with some examples, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we need to find all the papers and do another run at this, because this is a pretty deep topic.
Oh yeah.
Deep. Okay. On my third book.
What is it with you and games? Am I misunderstanding something here?
Oh shit! I mentioned that Christianity was a game last night, and it turned into.
Oh.
People got offended by it, and Danny got offended because I said that the problem of evil wasn't a problem, and it just turned into. It just surprised the hell out of me, because I was just talking about an idea in philosophy of religion that came up like 54 years ago is where I first came up with it, right? And it just got away. I mean, it offended people, and I had no idea why. So I was like, wait a minute, what did I just say? It's like if you walked into the room and you said, "Hi, how's your day?" and somebody just started screaming at you, "You bastard, you did this to me." It's like, what? And I'm like,
well, it's not what
are you talking about
now?
huh? Oh, what happened last night on Amy's stream?
Well, I didn't watch it.
We're talking about phylogeny, actually. So, okay. So, where else do we need to go with this, Andrew? There's really nobody in the chat that's going to join us, I don't think, on this.
Did you email?
I joined you. I guess I'm nobody.
Yeah.
Nestle is lurking around somewhere. He might be able to add some to this.
Nestle.
Also,
Yeah,
hey, man.
Hello.
About 10 minutes ago.
What?
Where are you, Nessie? Nessie doesn't really exist, I heard.
Oh. He's a concept?
No, it's a myth. Nessie. You don't get the
Loch
reference.
Ness Monster.
Thank you, Midnight. You got it. These other two are pretty cool.
Should we let Des on? He says he's only going to join if he can obnoxiously read the 29 evidences.
Fuck no. No. You mean should we let a version of Otangelo in to read to us? No, I don't think so. Not going to happen.
And you have to read it real fast.
Well, you can come in if you want. Oh my God, this is like really well. There's a lot of reading here. Yeah, we should make him read it. Yeah, if he wants to read it, yeah, we should let him read it. We'll just all go sleep. We'll just all go about our business, about our day. Let him read it. Anyway,
hey David.
Okay, so maybe we should end this stream right here.
Well, let's hear.
That was a short stream. Holy shit!
Well, hey,
hello. Reading. Rotangelo's going to do a reading, is he?
Oh yeah, somebody. No, I. Before we get into anything else that's not about phylogeny, I would like to end this stream, and I can start another open room.
Sure.
If you guys want to talk.
Yeah, put the link in the private chat, and we'll meet you there, and you can start with all of us there if you like.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Well, I'll start the stream, and I'll put a link. What the hell?
You're full of fine ideas, Randolph.
Fine ideas.
Before we go, Randolph.
Thanks.
So Randolph, do you have any thoughts on phylogenics to continue into the other stream?
Phylogenetic. I
Both
have to admit ignorance. I don't even know what that is.
Okay,
I've got
that's
something
okay.
to do with light, possibly, but something to do with genetics, but I don't know.
What were you going to say, Peter?
Well, I just was going to say that when the stream ends, I'll go and check if everything is still in place. I hope so.
You don't sound like Peter.
No, I think Peter's not feeling well.
Oh, well.
Peter, where did God touch you?
Uh-oh. Are you sure it was God and not just a priest?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Oh, I didn't want to go there.
Yeah, well, Jesus' style is to go right inside. I don't know what Allah's style is.
Yeah, right to the heart, right? They stab
Right
you
to
right in the heart, isn't it? That's where it's supposed to be, like in your heart, right?
Oh, I wonder what the
Isn't
Mormons
how they refer that, something like that.
It's in
Heard
my
it.
heart.
Yeah, isn't that where supposedly where your soul resides or something? I don't know.
I couldn't tell because I'd be telling secrets, and then I'd get into all kinds of trouble, and Otangelo would say,
Bad Peter, bad Peter.
"Yeah, see,
So I can tell you, soul was introduced in the 1970s by musicians. It's very real.
yeah, that too."
Yeah, your soundboard is great, Peter, but sometimes it can be a pain in the ass, though.
Well, not only a pain in
love
the
it.
ass, but
You do go overboard a bit, Peter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit.
Aw, wait.
Dark Dawkins makes it very tempting.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know what you just did, right? You know what you just did?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hurt now. I'm ball hurt now.
Hey,
Okay.
I heard you talking about.
Uh-oh.
I heard you talking about you had an argument with a guy on Amy's channel, with Doc and soundboard. I have to go watch that. I heard that you were saying that was really funny.
That was brilliant. So
Yeah, I
Shane
want
the
to go see
Skeptic
that.
came on. Yeah, Shane the Skeptic came on, and
Yeah.
he thought that Darth was in the room. So
Yeah.
I started a conversation with him using
Yeah.
my soundboard,
Holy
Yeah,
and he fell for it, hook, line,
Yeah.
and sinker.
I want
Yeah,
to go
you
see
just-
that.
You just did it
He-
to me, Peter, because
Tom
I thought
Brown's gonna cover
I
that.
thought Otangelo was in the room because I was off on another tab. And
Tom Rabbit's got to cover that one, Peter. You got to make sure Tom Rabbit finds out about that stream.
It was great, and we talked after the stream ended. We talked for a while, and at some point he was a bit pissed. He said, "I need to work on my skepticism. If I fall for
Yeah.
something like this, I can't show my face in the skeptic community." Which
Yeah.
I would have been
Okay.
delighted that I was fooled.
okay, boys and girls,
That
I
you
want to.
messed up.
he
I
he
want-
actually
Hang-
well, he couldn't deny it because he started reading the Bible to Darth. It was that good.
guys.
Yeah, Speed.
When the moderator talks, y'all listen. Okay, we're ending this stream. We're gonna end this phylogenetic stream, and I might even trim off the end of it here. But I put a link in chat for the new stream, which we can go and have a talk. Sound fair?
Okay.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
ending broadcast.
Yep.
Goodbye, cruel world.